Hello,
Hey!
Unity.
Once again.
Burleson here, although I think you guys just finished a Monster Hunter stream recently.
You guys are probably thoroughly sick of me by now.
It's a lot of activity for
So I'm
one
just
day.
going to let you do most of the talking.
Very good. We're going to be streaming some revelations of the Resident Evil variety. Showing off Infernal Mode, which if you're looking at YouTube now, the trailer just kind of kicked live on YouTube. It's a new mode, as you might suspect from the name Infernal Mode. It's basically just super hard difficulty level. If you played the 3DS version, there was the Hell difficulty, and in the trailer it says Hell just got hotter. That's kind of the bit, is Hell was already pretty hard, and this is significantly harder. Just remixed enemy placement, different item placement. If you knew the game pretty well, it's a really compelling, interesting way to go play it again. It's not just the enemies deal more damage and your gunshots deal less, although those are both of those are the case. It's just overall like a little remix experience, but nonetheless harder. And you'll see enemies from later in the game way earlier, and of course there's a new enemy that we haven't shown yet that was for this game. We've talked that there is one, but we haven't really gone into detail, and you'll see him much earlier than you would have playing on normal. So we'll pick up this spot.
Very good.
So here we are.
I don't know.
So this is chapter 2-2.
Somewhere on the ship.
And Jill.
Damn it. Bastard took all my weapons.
Can you reach
Yeah,
HQ?
so you can hear
No.
Jill and Parker, her BSAA partner, are stuck on a ship, but the ship is a cruise ship, so it looks a lot like a floating mansion, as you may recall. Listeners of the podcast may remember that gag, which was then picked up as news. But yeah, so you get some familiar environments. So this is the case if you skipped it on the 3DS version. This is kind of what you're in for. It's a little closer to a little slower paced, scarier experience. Although there's some Chris moments that get the high octane, let's say missile launching, boulder uppercutting stuff going.
Dog punching. I don't
Dog
know if,
punching.
Do you actually punch the dogs? Can you
Uh,
hatchet them or something?
you can hurt them. So
You
in
can hurt
the,
them
in the
horribly.
original version, original mode, the screwdriver is hidden there, but you come over here, and you might be like, "What? There's no screwdriver? Oh, it's in the tub this time."
That HD muck.
We borrowed it from Silent Hill. So the screwdriver's there in this case, but yeah, it's just a little bit. Oh, I think she says something about it. I think there's a joke about a touch-up somewhere in there. But the bit here is she's been, her and Parker were gassed before this, and so before I do that, this is a little bit of a puzzle here. It's telling you a very key thing about Revelations is this evade, and it's similar to RE3, but you have to push up right when they swing at you. And in that case,
Oh man, how embarrassing.
yes, no, now he's naked with his head in a TV. Could this be any worse? But that's like, it's already crucial in the main game, but on Infernal Mode where you can die in like 1.5 hits, it's extremely important. You will die repeatedly if you don't do that effectively, and the timing is pretty narrow. Like, you need to be pretty precise with it. And this was a touch puzzle back in the day. Basically, you have to get all these doohickeys to line up on the glowing dot parts. Hey!
Man.
But now that that's up, oh, he suddenly got his strength back. But let me grab this really quick. Legendary parts, that'll come into play a little later. But the bit here, which I didn't get to go into because that enemy so rudely interrupted us, is that you start this area with no weapons. So you have no choice but to dodge and try to keep away from things. So it's
Nice.
another very nice dodge,
You can't fight without a
if I
weapon.
may say so.
Just do your best to dodge.
So yeah, if you were playing the regular version, most of these enemies would not even be here. But yeah, it's basically if they touch you, it's like instant death. You can get like one good hit in, but after that, you pretty much you've gotta use an herb or just keep dodging. Let's see if I can do this again. All right, I have been practicing this because I was tired of getting killed. So lots of enemies. So if you're looking for something where you really need to think fight versus flight, the normal mode still gives you that experience, but playing on Infernal will really test your ability of like, should I shoot or should I just hightail it out of here? Good old crest puzzle. I think that's in keeping with some Resident Evil staples. So you'll want to come back here when you get the appropriate crest. Or Colgate, if that's the way you roll.
Whichever, yeah.
More of an Aquafresh person.
Aquafresh. I like the colors.
Oh, God. So they're going to shamble their way over here, but since you have... So, okay, here's an enemy that doesn't show up till way later.
Oh, my goodness.
And has a very wide attack. Did not successfully... Oh, he may kill me right here. Luckily, I have one. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, Jill. Jill, you gotta run. Okay. So, that's probably the worst part. So, but now I'm completely out of healing items, so... That's gross.
Oh.
Shazbot. Okay, time to go. Oh, oh, this is bad.
It's like a college house party the morning after.
No! Oh, that's probably the end of Jill. Yes. Oh, murdered. Murdered by ooze. So get used to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to make a quicker run for this now.
That's why they call it Infernal.
But yeah, you will see enemies from later in the game, way earlier, like that dude who with the sword for the arm really isn't supposed to show up until much later in the game. And yeah, so this is basically just a stream where I'm going to die a lot and replay the same areas. But if you know the game well enough, you'll notice like, oh, there weren't enemies here, or there's more enemies here. You also notice I pick up that legendary parts sooner, so that gets into the whole custom parts thing.
So greater reward,
which is a way to customize your weapons, and you get access to that stuff a little quicker too. So it's not it's not just oh, we're gonna throw you to the wolves with no weapons at all and lol, deal with it. You do get access to better weapons faster, but I mean the amount of damage you can actually take is so low that even with a gun that's been totally you've really gone to town with the perks on it. Oh,
well
done. You're still not going to deal...
They gave you that one.
Yeah. You're still not going to deal a whole lot of damage. And if I can get to that point, I can actually talk a little about the custom parts. But again, the mode is all about remixing the experience, and not just like, it's harder because things deal more damage. There are certainly more enemies, but generally speaking, it's just trying to give you a little something extra. I wish I could just get past this guy and not let him know I'm here. Gross. Okay. So that's... No.
Oh, he's horrid.
Oh, he's... he's the size of the hallway, so you can kind of cheat him out that way. You let them attack you, and then while they're recovering from their own attack animation, you might be able to... see if I can get out of here. Nope. I will have to use my herb to get out of here alive. There are also invincible frames on the door opening, so if you can time it so you open the door right as you're about to get struck, you can avoid an attack that way. This is a nice, lovely ballroom.
Great lighting.
So yes, that is one of the other things they did when they went in to bring the game over to consoles and PC. Touches on the lighting, water effects, other little touch-ups that were not present. And there's Parker.
Jill, are you okay?
Jill.
I'm fine, but the ship's crawling with BOWs.
Okay, we're going to need our weapons. I think I saw them on my way here, but I couldn't reach them. We should be okay as long as we work together.
I like Parker because he generally seems like a human being that is, they, like, just really tired and, like, doesn't want to keep doing this.
I found these, though.
So he's handing us grenades here, sub-weapon with right bumper.
Think we can use it?
So they gave this to be a W decoy.
It just might do the trick.
Which is basically a grenade similar to a pipe bomb in Left 4 Dead, if you know that one. It'll attract them. So as we make our way through here, try to avoid many enemies. That didn't work. Get off of me! Okay, so I'm just gonna toss that one out. So that took care of. Oh man, he's still not dead. Oh god, no! Oh, this is worse. Oh, I'm totally boxed in. I'm not even supposed to go this way. No, use the decoy! Use the decoy! Oh, oh god. Oh man, it sucks! Ah! Why didn't I have a nerve? Well, I am sweating, so if that was something you're after in your Resident Evil experience, there it is. So yeah, there's a little box in the way there. Yeah, so I knew what I was getting into when I started this stream, so that's fine. Looking at the chat. Master of unlocking, lockpicks, no lockpicks for Jill.
Cue sandwich jokes.
Sandwich jokes.
Cue Chris's blood jokes.
So, but at least there are checkpoints, so you don't get totally hosed when you die. You get to go back to a relatively recent point. I'm just gonna cut to the chase here and toss this guy out. Oh, Parker right in the middle of all of it. Sometimes, yeah, there he goes. So that took care of him in one fell swoop. Hurry, Parker, Jill. So, if I can actually get around, if I can peek in between these bookcases. Whoa. That's not fair! That's not.
I think all this madness can be traced back to a botched pudding recipe
Jeez.
from the crew's kitchen staff.
Okay, well the good news is the parts are right up here. Or there's another piece of custom parts, but the weapons are right here. So at least that's a checkpoint. So now you found your weapon, so you've kind of survived this test of can you just dodge things continuously, and turns out I can 40% of the time. So you found literally all of your equipment. So important thing here is looking at the custom weapons and how this works. Again, if you played the 3DS version, you probably know. But generally speaking, you get different weapons, and you'll find different guns throughout the campaign. And then raid mode adds a whole other layer to this, but you can push X and hop over, or square in your PS3s, and hop over. And each gun has these customizable slots, and each one of them ups firepower, chance to put the enemy into a stun state where you can then do the crazy RE style melee attack. But it's not like more RE4 style, I guess, where you just a big kick or something, or mercenary style. It's not like not doing the diamond cutter or a stone cold stunner to them or anything. It's just more of a wind up and hit kind of thing. Same with shotgun. You come over here, and then these are the two things I just picked up while I was playing. So ups firepower by 10%. Well, I don't need that because I have this one by 60. Fires 5 consecutive shots with 1 trigger pull. So that's you're gonna eat up ammo, but if you want to take something out very quickly, just bam, 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 bam. So that's kind of how that works. Also important is the Genesis gun, which lets you scan the environment or zoom in on Parker's crotch. In that case, that's also like a core component of the game.
Multifunctional.
Now what?
Now we contact HQ and tell them what the hell is going on.
We should be able to do that from the bridge. Let's go.
So as an example, what you want to do is you want to walk around with the scanner gun out. Okay, and that'll detect something that you can scan. Start scanning it, and basically it's how you find things hidden around the map. And if that thing is glowing yellow in the lower right-hand corner, that's how you know there's something to scan. That said, I probably am still near death. The other important thing here is scanning enemies. So I may have blew them all up. But as you scan enemies, it increases this percentage. If you look at the top of the screen, it currently says 0%. Now, scanning these do not count towards a percentage. These are just finding items in the environment to use. So in this case, more machine gun ammo. Also very important because the game doesn't just throw ammo at you. There's a lot of cases where you are literally out of ammo if you haven't been, being smart about it. There's a lot of enemies in the game you do not need to engage directly. It's better to just run. This is a case where it's probably better for me to run, but they may all be wiped out from the grenades I was tossing. Although I do hear some shuffling. That might be Parker. Whoa! Parker! Some decency, man. More shotgun shells. I think this might be another piece of custom parts. That's probably in a different room. It does see through walls. In that case, it was right here. More shells. So it's another enemy hanging out up here. If I can get close enough, fast enough, so I can scan this enemy, you see 11%. And that goes towards the 100%. When you get to 100, you get a free herb. However, that means you have to decide when you size up an enemy, like, okay, do I actually want to try to scan this thing? Should I just try to kill it? Because while I'm scanning it, you can't shoot at it, but the reward over time is a free, healing item. But the odds of you getting those all in a row and not being hit, you're going to have to be pretty fancy footwork. It's just a lot of, consideration into every encounter. Which I think is a hallmark of the older games. Like, you want to decide, I'm not loaded to the teeth, I'm not just totally prepared for this. They did not come here expecting to be roped up in another situation. Whereas, like, RE5 and 6, they go into battle, like, they know what they're getting into. So I can try. Oh, bad. So there's another 12. I'm just going to go ahead and get out of here, though. Because I still don't have any healing items. Oh, God, no. Get away. That might be the end of Jill. Yep. Man. Use a herb. Correct. Well, Trunky Junkie, as to why they're all ooze, it's because it is the T-Abyss virus. It's not. It's a different virus derived for a different purpose. So that's why they don't. That's why it's not zombies and hunters and kind of the usual BOW stuff you see in the other games. That's the in-game explanation for it, anyway. As for why there's no healing animation, I have no idea. I think it's just they want you to heal quickly. Oh, God. So I can try to do this, because this is like... That's cool. Or he can just not be fazed by that at all. What is the point of this mode? It's really hard.
If you like things that are hard, then you will like this mode. It does, it does feel like it's very true to the survival horror spirit. You really have to strive to survive. Feel free to use that.
Take it to the bank. Cash it in.
Keep it under your hat.
Yeah, it is. It is. At the end of the day, it is just a difficulty mode, but it is available from the start. You don't have to unlock it. But it is, even though I do feel the normal campaign is still, if you were aching for old style RE experience, even normal is akin to that. But Okay. You are the size of the hallway, sir. I successfully dodged it. I've dodged it twice. Get out of here. Okay. I think there's a thing in this cabinet. Yes. Get out of here. Sorry, Parker, you're on your own. That was a flesh wound.
How about that? What was that?
That was a direct bludgeon to the face. Man. But this is the thing where, like, I'm in this area with no healing items.
Mm-hmm.
I have ammo, but I mean, I guess I'll just switch to that and just try to mow everything down. But again, my ammo's somewhat finite. But given that I'm dying so much, but if you're also looking like this, like, yeah, this is too much. Normal mode is still true to that. Like anyone who played the 3DS one can attest. It slows things down. It wants you to consider the encounters. You can get in a lot of firefights with enemies, but it's not as you're not going to want to just shoot everything. What's more important at the end of the day is scanning them to get your goods. Maybe get that later. This guy again. Yes. No. Not good. Less good. Okay. So. Nice. That tore him up. Ugh. At least still these regular grenades around. You get more percentage for scanning an enemy that is still living, but you do get something for scanning their goopy mess as they leave the world. So I get a little bit less. I don't think that's in this room. Oh, hello. Still don't have anything to open the crest to get that shotgun. Hello. And again, since it is a little bit structured more like the older games, so you have kind of an open map. So while the game is divided into chapters, like there's still chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, that's more just used as like a plot point, more than it is like now you can't go back to this area you've already been. You're in a giant ship, so you'll want to get the card reader and later in the game come back and open up and see what's in this.
Right.
And there's other doors, there's just other areas of the map you can't get to. So if you look down here, that's actually where we were earlier, so now we're on the second floor of it. Where those bookcases and I was tossing grenades around. If we can get this guy to explode. Ugh. If I can get him to... Now that I have the key, or rather don't. Ah, yes. But with my trusty knife, who cares about keys? And again, there's a key in classic RE fashion, adorned with a certain mark that won't open. The yellow thing is telling me there is something to scan. So if they were paying attention earlier, they were saying they have to go to the bridge because now they've got their weapons back, they've woken up, they're not sure what's going on. They want to go to the bridge to radio for help. and as we go up there, the game kind of continues from there. But I think the thing that's going on now is the bridge, when we get up here, does contain the new enemy that we're not supposed to show just yet.
Uh-oh.
So we'll probably have to cut it a little short.
Tell you what, you guys guess what it might be, and we'll tell you if you're right.
Yeah. Someone's already been here. But if you know the game or read any of the wikis, you likely know the plot of the game. But again, this mode is more for... you're pretty familiar with the game. But yeah, D-pad, switch your guns on the fly, as you might suspect. And then the other... well, D-pad moves up and down through shock grenades, any other kind of grenades that you have. And then left and right is your guns. And then you take them into raid mode and do different stuff with them. We did a hunk mode stream not long ago. And we'll be doing another one at PAX, but we'll hopefully have some different stuff to stream at PAX as well. So
Yes.
that's in a couple weeks, so we'll have more to show. Ah, there we go. Get rid of that blood effect, and now you can see all the pretty colors that we were missing before. Alright. And I believe through that door is the next room where we're not supposed to go in and show that monster, so I'm going to back out and say stream.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. But it's just a quick look at Infernal, and that's chapter 2 too, so that's still extremely early. So bug after me. There's extremely, it's still extremely early in the campaign, so that's, you know, an indicator of what it's going to be like that early. When you get into the later levels, where in the normal campaign, when you saw that enemy that has an organic sword and shield built into his body, I mean, if that's already in chapter 2, just how more insane it's going to get as you go along. Yeah, that's kind of it, though. We will, like I said, though, we will have more stuff to show. There is stuff we have not talked about yet with Revelations. And since the game is out in May, that stands to reason there's only so many weeks, you know, 8 to 10 weeks left that we can actually really reveal stuff. So we'll have, even though we have more stuff to say, it's going to happen pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get to that soon. And some of that we'll hopefully be able to speak to at PAX East, which again is March 22nd. 23rd and 24th, and we'll be streaming from the location and have Revelation stuff there as well. And if you're going to PAX East, it will be playable on the show floor too, so there's also that to consider. Look into the stream really quick, or the chat. Any old trailer that had zombies in it, that's going back probably 2 years, 3 years maybe. So I mean, the game changed at the course of development. I mean, you can look at early trailers that also showed Jill and Chris, you know, pointing guns at each other, and that's not integrated really into the game either. So it's just, games are kind of a fluid development. So just because it was in a trailer
Much like
years
the
ago,
ooze themselves.
much like the ooze themselves. That's why they're not in there now. Yeah, a 3DS trailer. I know that's where the game began, and then the game has progressed since then. So this version being based on the 3DS one is not going to go back on those design decisions as well.
We have not retconned zombies back into
And for what it's worth, the zombie thing is almost purely a skin at this point. The ooze more or less function as zombies. They're shambly, they're slow, they don't have a ranged attack. They get to you, they bite you. It literally is just a skin at that point. And then there's other ooze that do shoot projectiles or do have other abilities, but